Hi there and welcome back to our temporary base in Vietnam before we come back to Japan. I'm having a lovely holiday here actually, and while I'm here I'm listening through, amongst other things, to a full album listen through to New Beginning by BAND-MAID. Now it's been an interesting album. Just to cover what I've said before, you know how this goes. You can check out, if you haven't been following the playlist, there's a playlist with all of the reactions to all the tracks on this album in the description below. You find the link there as well as other links and various things. But this has been a heavy album. It's their second album following on from Made in Japan, which I know a lot of fans of their more recent stuff and their more hard sound. Not so keen on that album. I really like that album for having a nice variation, being hard at times and being kind of poppy and rocky at other times. This album is definitely much more hard going, and although it's another staff-written album, it does show a little bit of their development as musicians, and it's certainly going in a more of a musician's direction. Even if musically I don't find it quite as varied, it's certainly pulling some really interesting tricks out of the bag to keep it original. Anyway, I really like the last track, Arcadia Girl, that took them in a slightly different direction, and I thought was a really nice way of playing with the sound. Let's see how Don't Apply the Brake goes. Now, Don't Apply the Brake, that's a song name where I'm expecting... That just reminds me of so many punk songs. I'm expecting something punky, and I'd love to hear something punky. The track comes in at 3 minutes 19, though, which is a little bit long for a punk song. Let's see where it goes. Enough waffle, don't apply the brake. Nice variation from the track before. Kind of straight hard rock so far. Let's see how they work with this one. Nice. I like the way they're building up the rhythm, adding more bits. That's a really good chorus, actually. So this is a fairly straight shooting song. Let's see if they do their modern thing of adding more musical play in the second verse. Either way, I'm liking where it's going. Yeah. That's a good solo, nice and melodic. Not too twiddly, just enough to really add. Very simple, this one. No riffing, nothing like that. Just works like a sort of, a bit like a punk song, actually. Oh, nice choice to like end off of the keynote. Alright, so what can we say about that one? Well, that was interesting because that actually had a real contrast. After the last song, Arcadia Girl, had been like a really quite a technical song in my opinion. There was lots of technical things in there in regards to the rhythm, the tension, the production. This one took a very simple approach, which is good for album development, but also I really like this a lot of things I liked about this song reminded me of the things I was talking about, which I liked on the first album. I'm not saying the first album's better, I'm just saying there's certain things I liked on that first album that we haven't really heard so much in their modern material, and not in this one as well. Also, actually to draw a slight contrast to what I just said, also some of the things I liked about this reminds me of what I like about some of the Miku-led songs like Rockin' Me off of World Domination as well. When it comes to those straight rock songs, they are very good at doing them, and they only seem to do them when they know they can do them right. Like I said, there's no riffing in this, which is a good choice. This song didn't really need riffing. You kind of got that very the one guitar plays the chords with the bass, the other one does a thing over the top, which is nothing more than just holding the key just to add a little bit of harmony to the guitar line. But it's very, very simple technique, and what that does, it sets you up with very clear, simple driving power. You know, like I say, like a traditional hard rock, but more often than not punk song. Now the verse was a really, really good choice, because you notice that in the verse, when the verse first starts off, you got the guitar doing little chicka 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 thing, sort of some little strummed muted notes. But the interesting is the bass is kind of doing a boom boom sort of thing on its own, 2 notes, and then the guitar's playing separately. The guitar and the bass are not playing at the same time. You're kind of getting a feeling that everything's happening separately, and then the second phase of the verse comes in. As things start happening a little bit closer, everything happens together more. There's not much musically happening, but it's the counterplay between the instruments. It's the fact that they go from playing separately and not playing over the top of each other to then playing over the top of each other. Then you go into the chorus, which by all accounts is very simple. It's just, hey, let's all play the same note. But then everyone's playing in unison. So even if they're just strumming along, it's the contrast to the verse that makes that interesting. The fact that, like I say, you've got a verse in the first phase, no one's really playing together. They're all playing the same tune, but they're playing different bits separately. Second phase, they play a little bit more of each other. Chorus comes in, they play everything in unison. And that's a very simple technique, which means that without writing too many notes, writing anything complicated, you end up with something that actually is very, very engaging, because you can feel the build-up. You can feel the build-up, and also you get, it also gives you a chance to have a contrast between something which is quite rhythmically playful and then something which is very much all about the chorus, the melody. And what a good chorus it was. Simple. It's not going to be sort of a legendary one, but it's going to stick in your head. I'm pretty sure of that. This is definitely one of those tracks I'd come back to, because although there's less musically going on in it, I think what works brilliantly in this. I mean, there's nothing in this song that doesn't work. Everything, every note, everything that's played is played in the perfect place, in the perfect way, and it just works perfectly. It is, like I say, a really fantastic counter to Arcadia Girl, the game before, which seemed to be a case of there was a lot more in that. Again, not a massively complicated song, but much, much, much more detailed, intricate, little things happening much more quickly. Whereas this one's just straight, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, rock out, rock along. And it just worked with the sound, worked with everything. The solo, like I said, was nice, wasn't too twiddly. It kind of, again, respected the fact that the tone of the song was very much about drive, not twiddle. It was about everything sort of being straight and easy to read and easy to rock along with. So I think this was a very good example of the band. Like I said, I know it's a staff-written song. I know this album is staff-written, but it's a good example of the band using that platform of just being able to rock straight to do something really interesting. And I think that's fantastic. I'm more than happy with what I heard there. I would say that's one of the tracks, that and Arcadia Girl, are the tracks that I'm most likely to come back to quickly from what I've heard so far. Certainly I find them a lot more interesting than the first 2 tracks on the album. Nothing against them, they were okay. Thrill is actually a pretty decent single as far as it goes, but Thrill and Freezer, I find them not to work. I mean, Arcadia Girl's a better riff-based song, and Don't Apply the Brake is more catchy than either of those songs. So this is kind of what I mean about those riff-based songs are great if you're trying to establish a rock motif like that. I know they're trying to do, and I understand why they put them front and center at the beginning of the album to, like I say, this new made, new beginning, trying to insert that image into our heads. I get that, but I would say that later in the album we're now getting much more interesting songs. I would say that the songs I've heard on this side of the album, I sound so old when I say that. On this part of the album, they've certainly have been really impressive. So I'm looking forward to the next one I'm going to be listening to, which is Beauty and the Beast. Obviously, the tracks Don't Let Me Down and Shake That, they are on the playlist if you're following our New Beginning playlist. If you're not, then it's link to it in the description below. But those two tracks I've already heard before doing this album listen through, so as a result you'll be able to hear those ones. This in this particular batch that I'm recording right now, all the chronological orders is very confusing. Beauty and the Beast is the last one I'm going to be listening to in this collection, and obviously after that the playlist will run you onto those two songs I already did before, and then you'll get my conclusion at the end. But anyway, yeah, really good. I really enjoyed that. Definitely really looking forward to when I've completed this album review. I'm going to be going back to listen to that again. But for now, from Japan, thank you so much for tuning in. Like I say, you can get involved as always. Get in the comments and tell us what you think. Like, dislike if you want to, but you better comment if you do so we know why and so we can have a discussion about it. Subscribe if you're really nice. If you really want to get involved in the channel, if you really want to get involved in giving your suggestions on what we should listen to next, and you can get on our Twitter and Discord. More likely our Reddit and Discord, but you can also follow our Twitter and Facebook as well, although they're kind of not so useful for discussion. They're great for just seeing what's coming up on the channel. And if you like all of the things we do just enough, then you can go on our Patreon, which is also linked in the description below, and you can get some little perks for giving us a hand, because we don't get paid for doing this. As you notice, none of our videos have adverts, well, not ones that we put on there, because we don't get any money from this. But for now, from Vietnam, where I temporarily am, until the next video, which I'll hopefully see you on just after this one, ciao ciao.